What was I going to say? So we finish up these... Well, let's be fair. We finished these 4 episodes.
I fell asleep through episode 9, so I had to watch half of it again, and I haven't watched episode 10. You've seen it.
I've seen it before. It's just there's some vague pieces of it I can't quite remember.
Been a minute.
So, however, episodes 6 through 9, I think we can give you a good, synopsis of how things go.
Can I just say, in general, for Hellsing, I enjoyed Kaijo better.
Really?
Really. And I actually, after watching this and talking it over with my friend Martin, can actually look at Goku with a little bit of respect. Because that's how bad Hellsing is.
To be fair, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you've seen our Dragon Ball Z episode and know how bad, I do mean bad,
I hate Goku.
This man hates Goku.
Much less the Dragon Ball series.
For this series to go below that, I don't know what
in
to tell you.
One aspect, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yes. So, real quickly, we'll go through our episodes. Just give you a quick synopsis overall what happens.
6 and 7
kind of mesh together. These episodes mainly focus on the idea of we're back at the Hellsing Organization Mansion, where our last line of defense is the Wild Geese and Saris. As Millennium comes...
Against
Vampire Nazis. You're still stuck on that, aren't you?
You know what's really bad? Nazis that are vampires. Boom.
Done.
And they kick puppies.
Wow. Well, in this particular set of episodes, we get to the idea that the mercenaries are not good enough to go against these vampires. Most of them end up realistically kind of...
Well, the truth is they've set up a lot of traps.
Yes.
They've done tactics. These battle tactics work well against the fresh vampires. The fresh vampires are normal people who have just recently got their powers and were like, yay, we're vampiric Nazis, nothing can stop us. Landmines, screw all you guys.
Exactly. However, your seasoned veterans...
is lapping her weird little psychic ass off.
Yes. As she sees these traps and not going to work against her. However, she is a master of illusions, if I'm not mistaken.
She does get into the mind and makes you see what she wants you to see.
And that's how she pretty much gets her kills, to an extent. However, if I'm not mistaken, she is stopped at a certain point because I can't remember exactly how that ends.
There's several ways where they seem to start realizing that they can break this trance, because that's really what it is. It's the vampiric trance turned up to 11. Because now she doesn't really have to see you in the mind. She can send her mind out to your eye.
Yep.
And it messes things and creates these illusions, and they figure out a way to mess with it. So, of course, she turns it up to 12. But
they still find the way
through a very strong fight and a little bit of cost. Do we want to give away the score?
Nah, it's about to say, I think we're...
Some of the good guys make it. None of the bad guys do. That's all you get.
Of course, that's pretty much the main synopsis for that. As we head up to 8... where
the Battle of London.
Yeah, pretty much the Battle of London's still going. Fantastic.
Our studio audience decided we needed a musical track.
Ha! So
copyright infringement. Stop it.
So in this particular battle, there's a couple things going on. One of them happens to be if I'm not mistaken...
Vampire Nazis!
Yes, I know. But specifically, we get to some of the... one of the major players, the captain, kind of shows up in this. If I'm not mistaken, he goes against Anderson in this episode. And
plus, well, that's the other part, is the Vatican is there.
Yeah.
But the Vatican is there, and so are the warriors of the Iscariot organizations, which are actually 2 separate organizations.
But they're there,
and that's key to remember when you watch it.
Yes. So there's a lot of different battles going on during this whole bit of war. As our true major players are starting to make impact, as well as Alucard makes his miraculous return to the scene, and unfortunately ends up having to end up once again fighting Anderson, because Anderson just hates everybody, including him. But well, in the end, they still end up working.
There's a big fight, and at first, Anderson and the Vatican are actually going to try to protect Integra, actually.
Yes.
As she's like one of the few normal humans left over.
Because there's almost very few citizens still surviving left.
But then Alucard shows up, and the Nazis, and the Vatican, and the Knights of the Order of Iscariot, they all agree that Alucard's the bigger problem.
Yep.
So they all decide to work together to kill him. And then Integra does what Integra does best, and that's create a very long-winded go kill my enemy speech.
Yep.
So releases all the special locks that are on Alucard. He takes his gloves off. Puts Cyclops glasses on. I don't know what he does.
It's
vampires.
And because if I'm not mistaken, Alucard ends up on a bit of the losing end of that.
Well, he's doing what he does, and he's whipping ass.
Yeah.
And that's when Father Anderson pulls out the one nail that the Vatican has from the cross that Christ was crucified on. Takes this nail and is about to use it to do something when Alucard's like, stop. This is how you lose your humanity. Only a human can defeat me. And he's all like, no. Bang. He becomes, realistically, the holy version of a vampire. He's not drinking blood, but he's a monster. And that's the whole point here, is that monsters versus monsters in this whole Hellsing Ultimate is a big theme, and it's not going to work.
No, it's not. Of course, but I mean, that's literally most of episode 8.
Right.
Is the monsters pretty much now fighting each other at this point. But then we get to about episode 9, where we get a return of sorts of a character who we thought was on the good guy side. Walter.
Yeah, that part confused me. Maybe I fell asleep and that's what really got me, but apparently Walter's been turned into a vampire, and he's been released against his former master and allies.
So as but now he's not in his old state anymore. He's in his more younger prime.
He's in his 30s.
Yeah, where Walter literally shows up, finishes off Anderson, and then moves on to try and get rid of Alucard. At which, through most of that fight, it really looks like Walter has the upper hand. He's got Alucard where he wants him.
I like Walter and Ceres's interaction.
I did too.
The little bits of humanity that are left in the characters.
And unfortunately, Alucard was always one step ahead of Walter to begin with since the beginning of the fight. And that's when we get this long-winded monologue of Alucard going, you're in the stages we were in way back in the day. Now, if you want to get past this stage and become one of us, bring it on.
See, it's the funny thing is, this vampire stuff.
Yeah.
In the role-playing game Vampire the Masquerade, there are generations. So, you may be a 10th level, or 10th generation vampire that has been existing for 600 years. Where I might be a 4th generation vampire who was made yesterday. But my generation is so much more pure and closer to the original line that I could actually come out of the box stronger than you with all of your history. Now, your experiences are going to allow you to get away with things that I just don't know because, I was born in 1977 and turned into a vampire in 2017, where you were born in 1401. And,
yes.
So this is kind of like that. Alucard he may not be first generation, but he's in the top 4, so that makes him so much more dangerous than... They're making vampires by the dozen, but they're photocopies of a photocopy, and they're just not that strong.
That's kind of what they're showing off in most of these episodes is the stages of where people are at.
And mad respect to White Wolf.
And granted, Walter's natural fighting abilities, his combat experience and whatnot,
probably would have made him more dangerous.
Realistically is. It's just that Alucard still has those tricks. He still has his ace in the hole. He still has a lot in him that most of these abilities or these tactics that Walter would have that would mostly kill pretty much anybody else.
Well, the other side of the coin is, again, he's a monster fighting a monster. So I think that because Alucard says it so often, and the fact that there's only 10 episodes to this OVA...
Yeah.
It is an OVA, right?
Yeah, it's an OVA.
Okay. That the humans killing him is the only... That's his silver bullet. It has to be a human that kills Alucard. And I think that's why Integra... I think that's how she got his control.
Yeah.
I think he had him on the ropes and he swore an unbreaking oath, don't kill me, because she was a human.
Mm-hmm. And...
that's just... me guessing
at that point. Now, I do have slight remnants of how episode 10 goes. The only major thing I can literally do remember is the captain versus Ceres, which the captain turns out to be a werewolf. So you get that kind of... So you get that... So you finally get that old style vampires versus werewolves style combat thing going on, but that's the only thing I can remember that happens in that episode.
That's because vampires are worm spawn, and werewolves are protector of Gaia.
Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, that's the only thing I could really take. Now, granted, if I had time, I probably would have gone back and been like, hey, all right, let's watch this episode. But ladies and gentlemen, personally, I'd rather keep our ending to this series a bit of a surprise.
Not only to you, but to us too.
So, to be honest, I think we've dragged this on for quite a long time for the last several weeks and whatnot. I think it's about
trying to watch these episodes.
So, to be honest, I'm willing to go ahead and give some scoring to this.
Go for it. Let's do it.
All right, so we'll go to the visuals. To be honest, visually, I love it. It is gruesome, it's bloody. I mean, that's the theme of the nature of monster versus monster, vampires, and that of the like. And I give it a 2 because I just happen to like the way it just kind of pops.
I give it a 2 as well, but I give it a 2 with this caveat. Mm-hmm. The art style is in a different art style. It's a little bit older. This OVA, apparently, it was produced between... what was it? 2006 to 2014. And while over 8 years...
Well, it's 2006 to 2012 in Japan. We got translations a little bit slower.
Right.
So...
But my point being is, it may have been then when it was made, but it's still based on the animation and the manga from late 90s, early 2000s.
Yes.
So, it's got that look. It's got that angled Yu-Gi-Oh look about it. If you don't like that style, then it's probably not going to be a 2. But it is well drawn. The action flows, pun intended.
Yes.
And it is a gorgasm.
Mm-hmm. Can't miss it. Audio. To be honest, I thought the audio was really good and spot on in many places.
Yeah, and there's music. There is good sound effects. The voice acting's well. Just everything meshes pretty well. I want to give it a 2 because I can't think of a reason not
to. I still think my favorite part is when they first go into London and they play that classical music.
Right.
And they're coming, I was like, that is fantastic.
The German bombing music.
I was like, well, damn. I was like, but that was probably the best tone they've probably had for it. It's just
they get the rock and roll stuff going when they need it. And
yeah.
Remember the Southern vampire?
Yeah.
We just gushed about him, so.
Yeah, I did like him, though. He was kind of fun. And
that brings us up to story. Go ahead, champ. Tell him what you think.
You want me to think?
You want to go first?
You go first.
Me go first?
Yes.
This story is a 0.
I saw that coming.
This story is not much of a story. It is it's thinner than the strings that Walter uses to decapitate monsters with. That's how thin the story is. It is nothing but the shitty ride from point A to point B to point C to let you watch vampires beat up other things. That, in of itself, is if that's what you want to watch, you're good. If you want a story, you're done, son. There's like 10 episodes. There's like 4 plot points.
I mean, yeah, that's literally how it goes.
And in a series where each one is its own movie, anywhere between 45 and 70 minutes long, you need more plot than 4.
It's one of those things where it's realistically it's one big story. I mean, it's German Nazis. The Nazis come back, and they're all vampires, and they want to continue their rampage they did back in the 1940s. So, and that is about as far as your story goes.
Well, I mean, I respected the beginning where it was all like, there are monsters in England. And these crack team of monster hunters made up of monsters and other problems are going to hunt them down and kill them when poor little policewoman is given the choice, death or life as the undead. That was interesting.
Yes.
And then Nazis.
Fair. I've always given that the whole if anything has Nazis as your bad guys, it's kind of lazy writing, because to me
it's at least starts off that way. You can salvage it from time to time. Maybe Nazis are the start, and oh my god, they're robot Nazis. Okay, that's interesting. I haven't seen that one. Or vampire Nazis. Okay, really, both of those are tropes. So but you get my point. Is it's hard to make the Nazi bad guy fresh. Let's follow up with this other thing. We're looking at the Wikipedia article.
Yes.
Where is it? Number 7? Saris has to relive the fact that her parents were killed and her mother's corpse was raped. Number 9. Alucard has to relive that he was raped by an Ottoman sultan.
Yeah, I remember that part.
Oh my god, 20% of the episodes have the rape story. Oh, we forgot. Shomas got raped in the first episode.
How did we forget? That was kind of...
Listen, I'm not making light of the concept of rape. No. I am making light of using it to just instantly go, these are bad things. We know they're bad things.
Yes.
You're just dredging the bottom of the barrel. I don't know what else to do to make these guys bad. Let's make them really misogynist and terrible. And fuck corpses.
That's pretty bad. But I get what you're saying.
The only way they could have been worse is if the gang had been Nazis. Or vampires.
Stop it. Anyways, we get the point. So, I do agree. A 0.
Woo! Double O! I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
Not from me. Very rarely do.
Well, I mean, I don't think we've ever both given something a 0.
It's because realistically, to be honest, I have no reason to give anything a 0. You do because you have mutual hatred for something.
Well, but so now let's go with the enjoyment.
Yes, because the enjoyment's a little different. Because I do like the blood and gore aspect. I do like a lot of the action and the fighting. I do like a lot of the characters. Saris being my favorite. And I'll have to give it a 1 overall.
I liked Walter.
Yeah.
Until they cheesily did what they did to Walter.
It's because I think having him get turned to a vampire and have him switch sides so he can
fight Alucard. That was realistically it.
That was it. And I was like, wait, why? I was like, why have him change sides? Because he was loyal. He was loyal to Integra, loyal to the cause. Why change now? Other than the fact that they talk about him being able to do something he probably couldn't do in his old age. Or potentially do in his old age. Now that he's a vampire, he's reverted himself back to his younger days. He's like, alright, I think I can do this. That's it? I was like, Now, granted, I'm sure with this being the OVA and we're not getting maybe some of the minor details that would be in the normal series or even the manga, I still think if you're going to put something like that in, we should have an explanation for it. But that's just me. At least a better one.
My enjoyment is a 0, but again with a caveat. It's still a 0. You may enjoy this. This to me was just fighting for the sake of fighting. I didn't like that. But I will say this. This is where Goku got 1 point of respect. My major problem with this, why I lose the enjoyment, is they released the locks on Alucard, and Alucard's dangerous. They release more locks on Alucard when the danger gets harder and he's more dangerous. Every time the story ramps up a little bit, then we just find out, oh my god, he had 3 more forms left in reserve. Mm-hmm. At least Goku had to train and die from time to time to get a little better. It's the same stupid crap.
Yeah.
But this one's even done worse.
I agree.
The first time old girl gives a speech, rousing. The second, the third, maybe even the third and a half, fourth, I don't care anymore.
Well, see, the first time she gives a speech and tells them to go ham, I sat there and said, all right, cool.
That was cool.
Let's see it. But giving the same speech in a different tone, in a different way every single time is...
The only thing she says that is really kind of cool in my imagination was when Integra goes, with the millennials you will kill them with your left hand, and the stain of the iron from your gun will be on their shirt. The church you will kill with your right hand, and the stain of their blood will blossom upon their tabards. This is how I will know your enemies have been slaughtered the way I dictated. Paraphrased. Yes. I thought that was pretty cool. That was badass. What would be better is, after she got done lighting her cigar once, taking a draw, and then throwing it away, wasteful as hell, if she'd have pulled her sword out and helped him.
See, that would have been awesome, but she doesn't seem to want to fight.
I think Integra would have been not necessarily a force of her own, but a force factoring issue. Her presence would have made her allies fight better. Then, at minimum, she has an extra set of eyes, and it has to be an enchanted sword, or why else would the Knight Integra have it?
I agree. But most of the series, literally...
She is crossed between a plot point, barely, and a damsel in distress.
Because she's doing a lot of running in this series. A lot.
For a girl or a woman who smokes as heavy as she does.
Mm-hmm. But hey, I'm about to say, shoot, I even had, what was that one guy that's like, who Secretary of Defense, whatever guy was.
Okay.
I liked him better. Because at least he stood his ground. He was like, nope, I'm going to stay here, posted where we could be potential communication if we ever get back online. If not, hell, I'll go down with the ship. Or,
a couple of those old dudes were pulling out pistols like, let's do this.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about myself like, this guy's a badass. And then when shit hit the fan, he was just like, yeah, F you guys. Bombs! I was just like, best character ever, and we barely get to see any of them.
I will say that Anderson's story arc I liked. He started off such a crappy character that got better.
Yes. And...
Well, so you give it a 5. I gave it a 4. And we watched 9 episodes, so...
Makes me wonder if 10 would make that drop.
Or if it would help it.
Yeah, who knows?
Why don't you watch it? Why don't you find out and let us know what you think in the comments below?
I agree. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do got more coming up in the near future. We do got some Anime Week in Atlanta talk between me and Travis Cooper, along with some photos to go with it. There is still some more anime binges, just for your viewing pleasure. Anything you got coming up?
I do.
What you got?
I got something for next year.
All
for
right.
season 2.
Mm-hmm.
I have spoke to our friend Samantha, who has been on a couple of times and has brought a certain type of film, if you will.
Yes.
A Miyazaki film. Samantha has agreed to film for us a Miyazaki monthly. Really? Once a month, each month, Sam will bring over a new Miyazaki film, and we will watch it and do the review.
I like it. I really do. So I wonder how well that's going, because there's a ton of films we still haven't seen.
Right. So that's 13. That's 12 Miyazaki films next year. If you have some requests that you haven't seen, throw them in the comments, and I'm sure Sam has them in her library, and we'll bring them over.
Indeed. And I'm pretty sure if not, we'll find a way to get to it. I'm really sure we can find it.
So that's what I've been working on.
That's good. Now, to be honest, there's a lot of stuff I've been trying to work on and whatnot. Potentially by next year, the Anime Binge might be its own show.
Yeah, on the ECS, our producer is creating the idea of a couple of 13-episode kind of series that we can do for a part of a season. So much like a real television program, have 13, then do another show for 13, then do a third show for 13, and then do a fourth show with 13. And then if those go well, bring them back for a season 2, 3, etc. I myself am going to be doing a Star Trek themed one.
And I think that'd be really good. The Anime Binge has been something I've been kind of wanting to do, because I thought that there's a lot of series out there that's either really long or would take us time to go through episode to episode, even on this show. So I thought, why not?
Well, you see how well we did with a 10-episode OVA. Now, to be fair, this thing is like 8 hours.
Yeah, it's a lot of time. It's about an hour, literally, an episode. So you're looking...
Yeah, well, some of them are in the 45s, but still.
Still, it's...
Let's give them 45. That's 450 minutes.
Indeed. I know, right?
7.5 hours. Beautiful Bones was 12 episodes that were 30 minutes. That was 6. Yeah. And I had watched it in the past. He watched it in a week, and Sam had watched half of it. She quit because she didn't like it.
I don't blame her.
It's different style, but anyhow. But the point being is, we do a lot better with the movies because we can watch them and then talk about it with you.
Now, I'm not saying we're going to stop doing necessary anime shows. It's just that note that some of these may take longer to get through and whatnot than us literally trying to flat out get 12 to 13 episodes in a week.
So 8-Star Anime does not binge well. We'll do chunks like we did Kaijo, Bento, Monster Musume, all those where we broke up. Even Princess Tutu we had done.
Yes. And well, Princess Tutu, I
bet we're going to get a season 2 of that as well. We'll get Larissa back over here. Don't make Larissa cry, dude.
Oh, she can still cry.
I will El Kabong you.
She can cry. No, sir, she can cry, because she probably will either way, but I'm not...
Yeah, she probably will either way.
But to be honest, I will watch it. I will grip my teeth. Actually, Tiger and Bunny would be awesome.
Well, if you want to watch it, Mr. Phillips, bring it and be on the show. Oh, snap.
Oh, that look at his face. I saw it. He was like, no.
I didn't mean like right now.
No. He can be on right now.
Well, with an invitation like that, I can't decline. I will bring Tiger and Bunny if y'all guys want.
What was the wrestling one that Josh liked?
Tiger Mask?
Tiger Mask. Tiger Mask is pretty good if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, that'd be another one.
I gotta admit, I'm not into wrestling that much anymore, and Tiger Mask make me kind of miss wrestling again.
I don't blame you. Also, that would probably be another thing. Check on the ECS network around probably early December. Me and Mr. Brown will actually be going into some in-depth of what we thought of WWE Starrcade.
Is it Brown in squared circle? Yeah. Brown squared in the circle?
Brown squared in the circle, yes. Funny. But no, it'd be something to really look forward to. Mike has been very excited to see a Starrcade after, 20 years? And so, heck, why not? We're going. We'll let you know how it was.
And speaking of going, we'll see you on the next one.
Indeed.